Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LinkedIn Heroes, Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. And this dude right here is just exactly that. Chandra from Glide Agency. One of the most forward-thinking digital agencies in Western Australia. I've been fortunate to know Ez for a couple of years now and seen some of the work he does. He's crushing it for his clients. I remember working on one campaign where it was a crowdfunding exercise, and the dude comes in and he says, "We want to raise $1 million in 6 weeks." And I thought, this guy's crazy. But 6 weeks later, we were celebrating.
We did
it.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
Anyway, Ez, welcome to LinkedIn Heroes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks
Great
for
to have
having me
you
on
here.
the show, mate. Yeah.
Ez, did you always know that you were going to be an entrepreneur? When did it start for you? Were you entrepreneurial as a kid, or?
I think that idea of being an entrepreneur originated from my mum, actually. So my mum, we migrated to Perth. We came here with just a suitcase, that typical story.
From where?
We actually came from Singapore. We moved to Sydney, and then we went from Sydney to Perth. But when we came to Perth, we pretty much started from scratch. And my mum raised us boys as a single mum. Do you know what I mean? Putting them through school. I'm sure you know what that's like. But yeah, and she started a business from home.
What kind of business?
So she was training people how to use computers, basically, how to work, use PowerPoint and type documents. This was the age when computing was coming into the workforce.
Yeah.
And people had to learn how to use a mouse or how to type and how to use Word documents and format things and stuff like that. So that was a whole new, thing for people.
That's awesome.
So she was running that business pretty much throughout our entire childhood, right through to high school.
And so did you help out?
Not really. I think I just played with the computers all the time. So so I was always surrounded by machines and taking them apart, putting them together, playing video games all day, that typical sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of, guess.
So when you fast forward to the end of high school, did you continue studying or not?
Fast forward, high school, yes, I went to university. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I discovered a course called multimedia. And multimedia was
fun.
It was exactly that. I really enjoyed it. It was. I think that's where I discovered my passion, because I was able to create and work with technology. Do 3D animation and video editing, DVDs, all of this sort of stuff. And it was like I felt like I was a kid in a candy shop, really.
And so when was your first entrepreneurial venture?
I think the first thing I did was I started my own business, just like a freelancer type thing, doing work for people, building Flash websites. You remember Flash?
Oh yeah.
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 So I used to build Flash websites.
So how old were you when you did this?
This was in my early teens. Early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, that sort of a thing.
Yeah. So, did you used to burn DVDs for people as well?
Yeah. I used to make interactive DVDs and stuff like that back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Pornos?
Well, when they're watching a movie and you can choose your own adventure type thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is happening now on Netflix. There's a show on Netflix.
And so then after uni, did you get a job or did you go straight into business?
After uni, I was always working at university, actually. I was studying at university, but I was also working at university.
As a freelancer? Or?
Just doing tutoring, like seminars and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Not unit controller, but more teaching, in some sort of capacity.
So do you think university is important for being a business owner?
It's an interesting one. I think in my family, a lot of people have the trait of education. So my mum was in education, my uncle was a university lecturer, PhD, my auntie was teaching as well, my other uncles so everyone's in it. For some reason, this is in our DNA.
Yeah.
So I think I like to learn. I think learning is one of my core values. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their own core values.
Yeah.
I think learning something new, sort of motivating yourself to sort of learn new things every day is a really
Well, you
interesting
wouldn't be
thing.
able to run a business unless you were
Yeah, but I
all the
think
time.
sometimes some people give up that, like, or they're not really interested.
Fixed mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fixed mindset. So for me, it's like, what am I missing out on? How can I self-improve? So I think that learning factors.
That's great because everything's changing so fast now.
Yeah.
You got to be learning all the time, haven't you?
Yeah, well, especially in our agency, I can't even keep up with what the guys are doing. You know,
Yeah.
don't take any credit for any of the results because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And if I had to keep up with what they're doing in terms of the tools, I wouldn't have time to run the business and be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I've got to be ahead of the game and sort of see what's around the corner, what's happening.
Yep.
5 years from now, and are we positioning ourselves in the right capacity for
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean?
And so, how many people on Glide now?
It's about 15 of us at the moment.
15. Okay. And you started from
Started
scratch?
just pretty much me and another person.
Yeah.
And and then just grew the
What's
business from
the
there.
biggest challenge you've had along the way?
I think the biggest challenge in a business and as a business owner is people, because business is really about people. It's not about, you know, what revenue you're generating in terms of sales and all that.
Well, you need.
At the
you
end of
need
the
money,
day,
don't you?
business is about working with people
Yeah.
and as well as clients, but in a capacity where you're employing people as well. So that is really the secret ingredient. If you can work with people, if you can motivate people, if you can hire people well, then that's going to be your greatest key success. Yeah.
And how did you find managing the finances as you were growing? Like, how do you know when it's the right time to hire people?
I was terrible. Like, you know,
Yeah, mistakes, yeah.
you know, that was probably my, Achilles heel, is that I was, I guess,
Were you too aggressive or?
yeah, like probably just, I'm the type of person who's got lots of mad ideas and wanting to do everything.
Yeah.
And then when you're not taking your finances into consideration, you can get into a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Whether it be a hire for a person that you can't really afford, but you just got to go for it anyway. Whether you take on work which you can't really resource, but you got to go for it. You know what I mean? So it's that sort of, I just got to go for it mentality that I think ends up slowing you.
How many years have you been in business now?
14.
So why do 95% of businesses fail in 10 years? Or why do most of them fail like in the first couple of years? What do you think? What are they doing
Look,
wrong?
it depends on a lot of things, industry, like what opportunities they are. But I would say the biggest thing is patience. People lack patience.
Yeah.
They want instant results.
Yeah.
Like you said in our previous discussion, I think that people don't see the long term. Like if you and if you're not passionate about something, you're not. If you get up every day thinking about it, worrying about it, it's going to do your head in, right?
Yeah.
So I think having the lack of patience to be able to deal with it, and then not being able to put up with that friction for a long period of time and giving up too early.
Giving up too early. What about work ethic, work-life balance? Like, were you working around the clock in the first few years, or?
Oh yeah, like a dog, like working till 2 a.m. All that sort of stuff. Yeah, definitely.
So how have you found balance? Or have you found balance?
I think the key ingredient. I mean, I've always had a business where I've been lucky enough to be able to employ people, and I think the balance started to shift when I started to employ people that were better than me.
Yeah.
And not saying that I have a very high regard of myself. It was just more like hire people that are smarter than you, that can do the job better, and take time in finding those people, because once you get them on board, effectively they take a lot of worry off your hands.
Did you make some bad hires at the start?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, everyone does that, but terrible hires.
Yeah.
If you can imagine, over 14 years, how many people we've hired. As any business.
And you seem to have got it.
Yeah, I think so.
Now.
I think the key ingredient now is that it's is the culture, is the cultural aspect. So we know what's a good fit for our business model. We know the type of people that we need to get on board in terms of their values, their ethics, their work ethics as well. The attitude they have towards more of a results-driven type agency. Yeah, it's different to maybe a creative agency.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Where it's, so you've got to really know who you are. You've got to know
Yeah.
those values and build a culture around that.
But digital marketing, like, it's got a bit of a bad rap. Like, a lot of the companies in this industry, like, promise the world.
Yes, 100%.
You know, they run SEO campaigns where they don't do anything for 12 months, and Facebook ad campaigns where they're not logging in. You've managed to give your team like the right environment for them to be able to, you know, deliver a fantastic result for clients. I mean, I've seen the outcomes you're getting. What does that come down to? Is it just a matter of not giving them 100 campaigns to manage each? Or?
Well, that's partly it. I think there's a lot of agencies going, you know, to your initial question, which is, you know, there are a lot of agencies, I guess, with a more of a sales-driven attitude to growing the business. So they want to meet targets, KPIs. They want to grow the business as big as possible.
Well, they've got turnover, haven't they?
It's turnover of staff, clients, you know, burn and churn type mentality.
Yeah.
We've never really been like that. We've been more about quality and depth of knowledge and strategy versus, you know, trying to flog as many SEO retainers as possible type thing. You know what I mean? I think that's part of it. And I think the other part is probably, you know, the people that you've got on board, motivating them in the right way. Yeah. So, for instance, we're very results driven. So we want to make sure that when the team comes on board and they're doing the work, that's their motivation. We don't need to create the motivation for them. They are already self-motivated to want to be results driven. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So you're not, I guess, babysitting people. You're just sort of getting people who are motivated to do it anyway. Yeah. So,
and how do you know, like, you know, if they've got to not delegate too much, you know, workload?
Oh, you mean like to adjust between?
There's a balance between, like, you know, if somebody's, you know, if you say somebody's got to manage like 15 campaigns and they're a bit overwhelmed with that. Yeah. Do you?
Well, so over the time, I think I've learned to listen to the team more, to the staff. So nowadays, when we get work in, my first reaction is going to my team and saying, "Look, do you want this work? Can you take it on?" And working with them, because it's not just a relationship with the client, it's a relationship with my team as well. So I've got to find a halfway point, so to speak. But I think a lot of agencies, like the sales driven mentality, it's more like, okay, well, we've sold this website or we've sold this retainer or this campaign, you go and do it.
What are some of the warning signs that, you know, business owners, when they're choosing a service provider, should be looking out for avoid agencies like that? I think nowadays, if you look at digital marketing, it's all everything can be tracked, right? So you can track how many phone calls the campaign's generated, how many leads the campaign's generated, how much revenue, whether it be e-commerce, online, how many bookings, right? If your agency can't give you that information, they're just giving you like how many likes you've got and views.
Like, oh, this one generated this many impressions, or this one generated this many clicks.
You're ranking number one for your brand name.
It drove a lot of traffic. This sort of stuff, like even rankings, even like keyword rankings.
The whole SEO guarantees the warning sign, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's a lot of things like that, but ultimately, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the agency is not able to give you hard metrics on this is what we're like. Business, it's a business at the end of the day. You know, it's not tactical.
So it shouldn't really be a risk choosing the right agency if you know the right things to ask for.
Correct. And they should be able to report that from day one, you know, within the first week. That's what we believe. Like, you don't need to wait 6 months or 12 months to get results. You should be able to get results within that first month or that, you know, whatever. You should be able to see something. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think, and to the credit, I think, of agencies, some clients just want to sort of set and forget themselves as well. They want to just sign an agency and agency's going to take care of it. They don't look at it for 6 months. They come back to the account and they go, oh, what's going on? What are we doing? Why are we spending this money? So I think they've got to keep the agency accountable along the way as well as a client.
One of the things that's happened on Facebook, you're pretty knowledgeable on the platform. is this whole well, they call it the iOS update, but basically
Yes.
the privacy and cookies and,
Yes, yeah.
and not being able to follow people home from work anymore. Like, you don't seem too fazed by the update.
Look, yeah, it's definitely affecting things. But what we're sort of this sort of stuff happens all the time. Like every 2 years or every year, there's some major thing that happens that affects the structure or the setup of the campaign, right? But our job is to work around it, to find workarounds and to be agile. Just like you've been in this industry for a long time. It's always changing. Like you said, you had SEO rankings really high, and then the next week they all went down to page 100. Right?
Yeah.
So you've got, as an agency, you've got to have that ability to be resilient and problem solve.
Yeah.
And in that update itself, like Android is not affected, so that's almost like half the population, so to speak. So we can still track for Android, but operating systems, obviously with iOS and Apple, you obviously can't track that as much. But the Android metrics should lead the way in terms of how the campaign is performing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There are ways around it. We are tracking it through URLs, UTM tracking, all that sort of stuff. But there's solutions.
And what about this? You talk a lot about brand awareness, like you mentioned it a few times to me, even this morning. At what stage should a business be thinking about building their brand, and how do you measure that? Like, how can you measure success, online?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, we're focused obviously on the B2C space, business to consumer space.
Yeah.
So from a B2C perspective, brand is, very important. Right? We definitely feel like it's not just about sticking a landing page up and generating leads. For us, it is building trust with the consumer. So if you've got a good brand and you're creating good content and the information's there, you build that trust, and that's almost half the conversion there. Conversion rate.
But it's harder to measure, and so the question is, how do you communicate the value to your clients?
Well, we're not a branding agency per se, but if a client comes to us and says, look, we need help with our marketing, and we look at their branding and it's not quite there, we know straight away.
That's a nice polite way to put it.
It's not quite there, or it's not mature enough, or we'll be very honest and we'll say, look, your branding needs work. We're not going to launch this campaign until we get this sorted. Because we're basically
reputation's on the line,
fighting with one arm, basically. So your reputation's on the line, money goes down the drain. So I think that's the problem, is that there's decisions being made in the marketing strategy, people doing things like building a website when maybe their branding still sucks. Do you know what I mean? So they need to actually go back here. But then they've spent 5 to 10 grand or 20 grand on a website, and which they'll have to redevelop again because their branding's not done. But then by then they've already done the website, and then they're going on to marketing. Again, the branding might not be right. So you've got to get the order of things right. Not so much, do you know what I mean? Not so much just
absolutely.
going straight to a solution. You have to get the order, the priority of
Absolutely.
things. And every business is different. Some businesses have really fantastic brands, and all we're doing is getting them from here to there. We're just accelerating that a little bit, or lifting the standard a little bit.
What is your plan long term with the business?
I think growth, obviously, but getting more into our space of performance-based advertising. So, which is e-commerce, anything where we can track revenue is great.
Do you plan to grow nationwide, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously getting more clients on the East Coast, but that would be the goal.
Okay.
To go to set up shop there. But the great thing about our business is that we can pick up work anywhere. Really, we can work on campaigns globally. Clients in the US, in the UK. It's not a problem. You know.
So you've had a lot of success with raising capital, particularly through crowdfunding campaigns on Facebook and so on. You shared what some of the results that you've been able to achieve?
Yeah, so with crowdfunding campaigns, it's really about a founder that has come up with an idea, whether it's an app or an innovative device or a tool or something. It's
normally tech related?
Could be tech related, could be, we had one which was a camel dairy farmer, you know what I mean? So, It can be any sort of concept, but then they build a community around that concept, right? So if you like electric bikes, for example,
Yeah.
you're going to get people that are into sustainable transport
And so they
following
invest.
a brand. So if you build an idea and a great brand and a community around that idea,
Yeah.
all we're doing is getting that and mass targeting on using social advertising to find people that will fit that mold.
And what sort of numbers are these guys raising with these campaigns?
Yeah, so because of that huge reach to market, that potential reach to market that they've got through social, Facebook and Instagram, the campaigns are raising anywhere between $1 to $3 million.
And so the individuals investing.
Yeah, it could be mum and dad investors.
$1,000 or something.
Yeah, anywhere from $1,000 or whatever to 50,000. Could be private investors coming in on the raise as well. But collectively as a whole.
So then they're unsophisticated investors.
Yeah,
retail
mum
investors.
and dad investors. I mean, these are people that buy all sorts of things, shares,
Of course, yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Everyone's trading now.
So you're doing it through Facebook.
Through Facebook,
That's
advertising,
epic.
targeting, So I mean, it's successful because obviously of the Facebook platform that helps us, but also the strategy in terms of getting people interested, targeting the right niche audiences, interest categories, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So
So do you do education at the moment? Like, are you still doing education as part of what you do, or not really?
I mean, we've got our podcast that we do.
Yeah.
The next part, once that
Taking over the iPhone, iTunes charts.
Once we start getting more of a process going for that, where it's a bit more automated. My next goal is to start a whiteboard series. Where I just explain strategy.
Yeah, cool.
But it's more deep diving into advertising and how things are done. And just like your question around iOS, there'll be lots of marketing managers and brands wanting to know how to solve this problem. We'll just put it up on a whiteboard and just show what we're doing, that sort of thing. So that's what I want to do.
Do you think about legacy at all? Not yet.
It's an interesting one, but not really. I probably should. But
do you have any mentors?
As in people that I like to follow,
or coaches, or
no, I
individuals?
don't actually. I probably should get one.
That you've learned from. You just learned both.
Are you offering your services?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not the right one.
Do you know anyone?
No, it's always interesting to ask. Like, business owners, they either do or they don't generally.
Well, look, I don't have an ongoing mentor, but what I do, I have sought advice along the way. At times when I've needed it. Do you know what I mean? So I may,
where have you gone
if I need leadership, if I've got a leadership problem, I know who to speak to. If I've got a legal issue, I know who to speak to. If it's of accounting and finance, I know who to speak to. And I think that's the key to entrepreneurship, is to surround yourself with experts.
Who's the leadership guy then? Because that sounds like a mentor.
Yeah, well, there's a guy, he's a good friend of mine. His name's Brad Rayner. So, and he's a leadership expert. But just having conversations with people can teach you a lot of things.
It's fantastic.
You don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get consultants to come in.
Being a business owner can be quite isolating, if you don't
100%,
mix with other business owners,
But I think, again, it's surrounding yourself with key experts that can help you at. I think every business should have a good legal representative or someone to speak to, a good accountant. And if you're not doing that, those two fundamental things, then you're going to fall into hoops.
And so with your own brand, like, what are your next moves? Like, are you leaning into this content space, social media, organic, or you
for Glide? I think for us, we're more focused on learning and education, rather than marketing and pushing and remarketing people. So I think for us, it's more connecting to folks like yourself that are industry experts. You've got your networks, and even if we can get one person watching a podcast the whole way through, that's a win.
Mate, it's about to blow up.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we're trying to shoot for the stars and get millions of people. It's more like one piece of content, one person can create amazing outcomes. That's what we believe. So it's more of a brand building exercise versus a hard sell lead generation marketing funnel.
Yeah. Okay. I've just got one more question before we lean into the fun part. How has the last year with the lockdown and everything affected you and personally and your business?
Yeah. So the month that everything happened, we lost half of our revenue, 50% of our revenue. So that affected us quite a bit. But then,
Did you keep all the team?
Yeah, I did. I actually kept everyone. I didn't let go of anyone.
Well done.
But I think things started to really pick up after that. So
it was just a shuffle.
Yeah, it was really just a couple of bad months, and that was about it, sort of thing. You know what I mean? But from there, it's been amazing. It's probably been one of the best years we've had.
But have you pivoted at all, like to the clients that you're serving? To
I think it's naturally pivoted.
I
think more online e-commerce type clients.
Great.
The crowdfunding stuff's really taken off.
Yeah,
that's going nuts.
There's new needs on there.
People are looking for new things to do. You know what I mean? To invest in new ideas, and I think that's what COVID's created.
Do you do anything about this new digital marketplace, like people buying property that's not really property on the crypto world?
Oh no,
You're a tech dude.
No.
What's it called? BNP or PM? I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about
CMT.
NFTs.
NFTs, that's one.
Yeah, non fungible tokens.
Yeah, people are buying like $1 million properties that
oh really
don't exist.
Oh right, I know that it's linked to like electronic art.
Yeah,
or it could be like an NBA clip of LeBron doing a dunk or something like that, and it's worth $250,000.
It sounds
but I
like
guess
it's going
you
to be
digitally own that piece. Yeah. I do understand the value of it, but I think you got to be careful in that space. Yeah,
you got to know what you're doing, haven't you?
Yeah, because there's probably a lot of celebrities that are taking advantage of that.
Okay.
And that it's a bit like the influencer thing. It sort of blows up, and then it becomes like mainstream almost. So
that's the big thing.
The value.
As a marketer, you would understand the neuroscience behind, like, seeing a celebrity, what sort of impact that has on the brain, wording a headline a certain way, using certain colors in the thumbnail, and like how it gets people to act. But quite often, like, even though it feels like extremely right at the time, it's normally for a quick short-term win, which we're all wired.
Exactly. Yeah, we live in a culture of immediate trading where we can eat anytime we want and just get Uber Eats. We can get next day shipping with Amazon. With Netflix, we can download movies instantly. We don't even we used to be able to have to download it, wait for 2 days for the movie to download, and then would watch it. Now it's just like instant. So
I cancelled my Uber earlier because it was 12 minutes away. So it's too far.
It's just not.
I'll get an Ola. Like, dude.
It doesn't happen in Sydney though.
If you could be a superhero, who would you be and why?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. It's a very good question. I think
Nat Bibi. You seem like someone who's
wow, yeah, right. Yeah, no, I do like super. I think it would be really cool to be invincible. Like invisible, sorry.
Invisible.
Yeah, sorry, invisible.
Yeah, interesting.
Because then you could just like go invisible and then catch a plane to Rome and no one would know. Right? It would be pretty cool. So
So is there an invisible superhero?
Well,
we'll let it fly, but
I don't think so. I am watching this TV series on Amazon called The Boys. I don't know if you've seen that one. If you love superheroes, you got to watch that.
With your kids or?
No, it's not a kid-friendly one.
Really?
No. So, it's like Breaking Bad, but with superhero theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
interesting.
But anyway, that's
if there was a question that I haven't asked you that I should have, what would it be?
Oh, geez, these are tough ones, aren't they? I don't know.
I'm just messing with you now.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me,
Ez. Yeah, no worries, man.
Appreciate it, mate. Always a pleasure catching up.